Next, we're going to talk about distribution channels. How are you getting out, and how will you communicate, and how will you sell? As an author, we tend to think of distribution as Amazon. There's a bigger world than Amazon, and as an author, there's more distribution channels than selling your book. Your book, of course, is your number one distribution channel. Are you planning to release your book in only a digital format? Are you going to put it into print, or are you going to do digital and print? If you're going to do both, who's going to take your book and get it out to retailers? Are you going to use a targeted distribution system like Amazon CreateSpace? Or are you going to use a broad system like Ingram Spark, Lightning Source, or possibly even BookBaby? What are your social distribution channels? What social media do you plan to use? How do you plan to use them? How are you going to spread the word? Those are all distribution channels. Media outlets are also distribution channels. Do you plan to use specific press release services? Who's going to be writing your press release? How are you contacting the media? What ads are you using, and on what platforms are you using ads? Those are all distribution channels. Finally, one of the largest distribution channels for an author is the review. How will people read and review your book? Are you going to print ARCs, or are you just going to use digital galleys? Or are you planning to use both? What services are you going to use? How many book bloggers are you going to reach out to? And here is a very important way to set your sales. If you want to sell 2,000 books, one of the best ways to do this is to get reviews. Now, every single review that you get as a new author will probably sell 2 books. For every review that you get, you need to query about 30 blogs. So if you want to sell 2,000 books, you need to get around 1,000 reviews, which means you need to query about 30,000 blogs. That is an insane number. Where in the world are you even going to find 30,000 blogs? Well, one thing you can do is count on as your book grows and more people start talking about it, you can begin to leverage the book reviewer's audience better. People are going to start buying more as they see more reviews. So up to about 10 to 15 reviews, you're only going to be selling about 2 books per review. For about 20 to 100 reviews, that book goes up to about 5 books per review. Once you get over 100 reviews, you start selling between 5 to 7. Now, these are just average numbers that I have noticed. So if you're thinking of this, if you want to sell 2,000 books, we can say that you probably need somewhere in the ballpark of 550 to 700 book reviews. That is an astonishing number for a small author. This is why we need to look at the review channel as an author. You need to make a plan for how many blogs you're going to reach out to, how much time you have to reach out to blogs, or different ways to do this. You can use NetGalley, for example, and get your book posted on one of the largest digital galley sites. You can also use Edelweiss, Story Cartel, or InstaFreebie, and you can get those books out that way. You can also participate in Facebook takeovers, blog takeovers, blog tours, digital book tours, things of that nature. The review channel is so important for your success, and if you're going to spend considerable amount of time developing a distribution channel, I would recommend sitting on the reviews and really investigating this. The review channel will tie into the media and the social media. I've worked with authors that have been interviewed in the Associated Press, in Vice News, in Yahoo News, who have had major press, but because they don't actively work their social media distribution channels or their blog distribution channels or even their website, they don't sell books. So many authors think that all they have to do is get into the newspaper or onto a major media outlet and they've made it. And I can tell you from experience that that is not true. So if you are focusing your distribution channel on something that you cannot measure, you are not going to see success. So please trust me when I say, looking at your distribution channels, if you want to make money and make this into a career, you need to focus on reviews and book bloggers. Focus there, develop that, and the social media and the media will follow into that. All right, we've talked about distribution channels a lot, but it's because as an author, they are so important. We're going to dive in just a little bit more with these. First of all, as I've said before, you should be seeing links by now. Do you see links between specific channels, specific readers, or specific reader relationship goals? Make note of these links for future distribution channel planning. How can you actively reach and nurture those links through your distribution channels? You should also start to take notice of steps that are identifying themselves for you, or making notes of steps that you can take by creating a chain of command for promotion, for sales, for advertisement design, and media distribution. You should be noticing what is important, what you need to do first, what order you need to do it in, where you need to focus, where your energy needs to be. And finally, what is the full journey? Make sure you are thinking of your reader's full journey. Of course, we want to sell books and we want to make money, but if you're focusing on money and on what is coming back to you, you're not going to make money because you're focusing on yourself. Your book is about the reader. Your value is what you give to the reader. Your business plan should focus on making sure you are fulfilling the reader's journey. If you fulfill that reader's expectation and their full path from purchase to reading to review, you're going to make money because you're going to make very happy readers. The other thing to keep in mind is that just because a reader sees you once doesn't mean they buy you that time. You can have the best ad in the world and you can catch their attention, but they might not buy you for months down the road. So how are you staying relevant in their mind? That's another reason why the reviews matter. That's another reason why book bloggers matter. If you put out a beautiful advertisement and then they start seeing book bloggers or booktubers or bookstagrammers talking about you, it's going to come back. They're going to add you to a wish list. They're going to add you to their Goodreads. You are staying with them through their entire journey of getting your book. You're not just saying hello. So if you don't focus on all the distribution channels together, or if you don't understand a priority listing and activity chain of command, you're merely saying hello and your audience is passing you by. We want you to stay with them through their entire journey. All right, welcome to page 8 of your Happy Writing Business Plan Workbook. And this is where we're looking at your distribution channels. Now, this part of the module was pretty lengthy, and I talked a lot about looking at your distribution channels analytically, trying to come up with a mathematical formula. And if you're a little stumped on that, go ahead and get into the Facebook group and ask me a question, and I'll help you out as soon as I can to make this page a little bit easier for you. On this page, you want to put down your distribution channel, their contact or platform information, and how you plan to utilize this platform. So you're probably going to want to print this page out a few times so that way you can create clean sheets for all of your distribution channels and really have a clear, concise thought pattern. We don't want our business plan to be jumbled. We really want to be able to see where we're going and what we're doing. So I recommend printing out a few of these and creating a new one for every distribution channel that you plan to use.